Well, hello everyone. Today we're going to look at the first topic in this next section. That first topic is the Pythagorean Theorem. So in the Pythagorean Theorem, this is based off of right triangles, and it's a pretty famous theorem. I'm sure at some point you guys have seen it before. But the key to this is it must be a right triangle to work. If it's not a right triangle, this relationship doesn't hold true. Okay? And this is named after what they believe a mathematician named Pythagoras, but there's evidence that it was used previously, but that's where it got its name. So Pythagorean Theorem. Now what it states is that a squared plus b squared equals c squared, where a, b, and c are all sides of a right triangle. Now the one thing you have to make sure of is, again, like I said, it's a right triangle, which means it has a hypotenuse. Okay, and the hypotenuse is the side that's opposite the right angle. So if you look at this triangle I have drawn here, the right angle is down in that corner. That means C is the hypotenuse. And traditionally we call in this formula the C value that hypotenuse, which means it's also the biggest side. So if you're not sure where the hypotenuse is, it's going to be your largest side. The A and the B don't really matter for purposes of solving this because they both are on the same side. You're adding them together after you square them, and addition is a commutative property, so it works out okay. But the whole idea behind this is to be able to solve for any missing side using that theorem. Alright, so let's try a couple of examples to see how you guys do and make sure you understand what it's asking you. So it gives you this example here. We've got side lengths of 6, 15, and x. Now start by identifying the hypotenuse. Well, your right angle's here, which means that's your hypotenuse. So we're going to say that that's our C. And for the purpose of this problem, we'll just call A 6 and B 15. Now to solve this, you substitute it through the formula. So it's A squared, or 6 squared, plus B squared, which was 15 squared, equals C squared. And now you just start solving this out. So you've got A squared, or 6 squared, which is 36, B squared, or 15 squared, which is 225, equals C squared. Continue on simplifying, you end up with 36 plus 225 is 261 equals C squared. And to cancel out a square, we take the square root. And so you take the square root of 261, that gives you C is 16 point, we'll call it 16 if we round to the hundredths place, and there's your solution. Now the thing to remember is when you take a square root, you do get two solutions. You get a positive and a negative, but because this is the length of a triangle, it can't be negative, so 16.16 would be your final answer, and there you go. Alright, let's look at this next one. You come over here, again look for your hypotenuse. There's my right angle. That means that that side is my hypotenuse, so there's my C, which means I'm going to call this one A, we'll call that one B. Alright, put it through your formula. So A squared is 9 squared, plus B squared, which is x squared, equals C squared, or 11 squared. And then you solve. So 9 squared is 81, plus x squared equals 11 squared, or 121. Okay, now we want to solve for x, so I'm going to have to subtract 81 in this case. So my 81's cancel. That leaves me x squared equals 40. And then we take the square root to solve this. So you got x squared equals, that's x equals. Now there's two ways you can do this. You can put this through your calculator. Alright, and really it depends on what application you're using. So if you take the square root of 40 out of a calculator, you're going to get 6.32. But we can also simplify this, and we've seen these earlier this year. We can take the square root of 40, reduce it down into two numbers that are factors of 40, where one of them is a perfect square. So we're going to say like 4 and 10. Then you take the square root of 4, which is 2. The square root of 10 does not simplify, and you can write it as 2 square roots of 10. And that's another way to show this solution. So you've got 6.32 or 2 square roots of 10, and there you go. Alright, pause the video, give that example a try, and come back once you've finished. Okay, hopefully you guys had time to try that out. So there's my hypotenuse, which means that that is my C. I can call this one A, I can call that one B. Alright, go through the problem. So A squared plus B squared equals C squared. Alright, continue on. We've got 22 squared, which is 484. x squared is just x squared, and 25 squared is 625. Okay, go through your steps to solve. So I'm going to subtract 484. Those cancel. You've got x squared equals 141. Take the square root of both sides. So you, you take the square root of 141, which gives you 11.87, and there's your final solution. Okay, hopefully this is something that makes some sense. If you have any questions, please contact me and let me know. I'd be happy to help you out. Otherwise, good luck on your assignment.